Good morning, Wildcats. Here are the vocabulary words for week 23. These relate to the next installment of Hattie Big Sky, which will approximately be chapters 13 through 18. You will be typing a sentence for each word on the Google document that will be attached to this assignment. So on Google Classroom today, you will see a separate document for you to type your sentences into. Sentence expectations stay the same this week, so complete sentences need to be used. You should know what that means by now. All 10 vocabulary words should be used correctly. Do not copy your classmates or teacher, and please don't go to Google for your answers. Just look at the examples that I have and think about those, and you should be able to come up with your own sentences easily. And sentences need to be school appropriate as usual. Rubric. Complete sentences are used. That's 10 points. Each vocabulary word is used correctly. That's 10. And sentences use specific names or details and are creative. Most of you are doing that. A few of you could be a little bit better in that category, so that's maybe something to focus on this week. All right, here's the slide format again in case you've forgotten. All right, the first word this week is homily, and you're going to see that Hattie calls her newspaper installment Honeyacker's Homily. And that means it's going to be a piece of writing with some sort of moral theme to it. So it's a noun. So for example, Mary Beth's blog could be considered a homily because she always provided advice on how to treat others with respect. So this is a moral aspect, which would make this a homily that she is writing. Or at the service, the pastor delivered a homily about the dangers of jealousy. So this is a moral topic, and that would be considered a homily. A portent is something that foreshadows a coming event. It's a sign or an omen. Remember that foreshadow means there are hints or clues about what's going to happen in the future. So A, while on a date with his girlfriend, Wayne saw a shooting star. He took that as a portent that she was the one for him. Or B, many people believe a black cat crossing your path is an evil portent. By the way, I use this as singular in both sentences, but you could add an S if you have multiple signs. Veritable means true or real. So you would use that as an adjective to describe a noun. A, Bert thought he bought his wife a veritable ruby necklace, but when he had it appraised, they told him it was fake. So veritable here is being used as an adjective to describe the noun necklace. So a true or real necklace, but it turned out that it was not. Or B, Damien was unable to have his birthday party during quarantine, but his parents promised they would have a veritable or true, real celebration later. Perhaps some of you are in that same boat. Maybe you've had a birthday here in March or April and you're anxiously waiting to celebrate your birthday later on when we can all get together. A nosegay is a small bunch of flowers, and you might think, well, that's a really strange word, Mrs. Barron, but if you break it down, flowers usually have some sort of smell to them that's pleasant, right? Okay, so nose, okay, and then the word gay meant happy, so it makes your nose happy. So if you think of that, small bunch of flowers, most people, when they see a bouquet, they pick it up, they smell it, it makes their nose happy. It smells good. So that's a nosegay. And Howie bought Roberta a nosegay composed of pink peonies and baby's breath. Two types of flowers there. And B, Marian carried a nosegay to prom, but Rochelle wore a wrist corsage instead. Domestic is your next word. It's an adjective. You may have remembered actually seeing this in chapter 1. It was used the noun form though, domesticity, but this is the adjective form. And it is relating to work such as cooking or cleaning that is done in a person's home. So A, in order to be hired as a housekeeper for wealthy families, one must have superb domestic skills, be really good at cooking and cleaning. B, Dean's domestic abilities were lacking, so he decided to take a cooking class. So he does not have very good domestic or cooking or cleaning skills. An installment is one of several parts of a piece of writing that is presented over a period of time. So in the book, you're already seeing that Hattie is writing installments for a newspaper, which means that she's writing a small piece of writing that gets published maybe once a week or once a month, and then other readers will read that, okay, and she'll continue publishing that week after week or month after month, whatever her publisher decides. This is actually something pretty popular to do in the 1800s with novel writers. They wouldn't actually publish their whole book, they would publish it out in installments. So, for example, Charles Dickens, who wrote A Christmas Carol, which you're probably more familiar with, published his book Great Expectations in 9 installments. And when he saw the public's reaction to the book over time, he actually changed the ending of his book so that it would please the readers more and they would be more happy by the ending of it. And B, Harvey wrote an installment for his blog once a week. So in our modern times, we might do this more for a blog as opposed to a newspaper. Hi. Okay, it's not like hello. It means to go quickly. It's got an E at the end of it. It's a verb. And if you want to make it past tense, you just put a D at the end. So for example, Shirley and her poodle were taking a walk when it began to thunderstorm. They hied home to avoid being drenched, meaning that they went home quickly. Or B, ambulances hie to the scene of accidents to provide medical assistance, meaning that they go quickly to the scene of an accident. Wherewithal is a noun, and it could mean money, it could mean skill, it could mean courage that is needed to get through or do something. So, Virginia did not have the wherewithal to try skydiving. Here, wherewithal is being used to mean something like courage or bravery. But here's another way you might use it with one of these. During the interview, Mr. Wrigley loved Reba's personality, but he realized she did not have the wherewithal for the teaching position. Here it means more like skill. She didn't have the skill to do that job. If you're talking about money, you might say something like, Hattie is worried she will not have the wherewithal to prove up on her claim, meaning she won't have enough money to prove up on her claim. And you want to use that as a noun. Proposition. We've sort of talked about this word in the Andrew Carnegie unit, but I didn't officially have this as one of your vocab words. But it's a plan or offer that's presented to a person or group for them to consider. So to go back to that Carnegie example, Pullman accepted Carnegie's proposition. Pullman would merge his sleeping car company with Carnegie's if Carnegie named it after Pullman. So it's an offer that was presented to Pullman that he did accept. Joel's mom said he could have a puppy if he washed the dishes every night and kept his room clean. Joel had no problems with this proposition. So again, it's an offer that's being made to him, and Joel in this case is also choosing to accept this offer. And finally, falderall, which is a noun, and it's nonsense, foolish language, behavior, or ideas. So for example, Ellen tried to appreciate her friend's new song, but to Ellen the lyrics just sounded like falderall, meaning that it was nonsense. The lyrics didn't make any sense to her. Maybe there were some bizarre words used in there or out of context. Or B, Janet thought the politician's proposals to eliminate poverty were fodderall, meaning that they didn't make sense to her, his ideas were foolish, they weren't going to work. Okay, now you want to move on over to the Google Doc that I have provided, and you want to type your sentences for each of these words. Have a great day.